Hello, I am Karen Harrison. Welcome to Reiki Call. My website is www.karenharrison.net, and you can join us on the third Monday of the month at 7 Central for all sorts of discussion about Reiki topics. This will also be posted on my YouTube channel at Karen Harrison Reiki, and also on other places where you get your podcasts. So tonight I have a wonderful guest, one of my Reiki students, Beth. She is an animal Reiki master, a soul detective, a numerologist, a physical therapist, and a Holy Fire World Peace Reiki master and Karuna Reiki master. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you.
Yes, and tonight our topic is on Reiki and angel therapy. So before I turn it over to Beth, I'd like to just do a little brief prayer and kind of get us all centered. I know I kind of need it after my busy day and thinking about lots of other things. So if you have Reiki, I would like you just to activate your Reiki energy. And then we're just going to take some deep breaths, breathing in Reiki energy on the inhale, breathing out Reiki energy on the exhale. Breathe Reiki energy in and send it up to your head. Exhale and send it down your body to your feet. Again, inhale. Reiki energy up to your head. Exhale, send it down to your feet. And then imagine the Reiki energy swirling all around you, gently clearing your aura, and balancing your chakras. And it gently moves up and down your energy field. And as it does so, it gently clears and cleanses your energy field. And then it completes by grounding the energy into the earth. And intend to connect with the earth energy so that you feel grounded and centered. And we call in all the angels and the archangels to work with us tonight to gift us with your knowledge and your blessings. We're grateful for your presence, your gifts, your love, your wisdom, your light, your laughter. Thank you, God, and so it is. Blessed be. Okay, all right. So for everyone that is on the call, I'm just going to go ahead and put you on mute. Then, whenever you have any questions or anything, then you can just unmute yourself and ask if it's okay with Beth. So, okay, well, I wanted to start by asking Beth, how did you get involved in working with angels?
Well, I've always been interested in angels. I was raised Catholic, 12 years at Catholic school. So always had been interested, wanted to be able to connect. I thought about doing, like tarot card readings, and that it just didn't feel right to me. So I was in Target one day and I was looking for a cookbook. So I was, going down the aisles, and on the end of one of the aisles, next to where the cookbooks were, that's why I went and got this, was this deck of cards. Okay.
Nice.
So they're archangel oracle cards. So I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So I bought them. It was the only deck sitting there. No other decks were present. I've never ever seen angel cards at a Target since then, but it sure rung up. I had to pay for them. But so I started researching the person that created the deck, which was Doreen Virtue. So got on her website and started looking at that. And she had a class called Angel Therapy Practitioner. So I was trying to decide if I should do that. And I decided to fly up to Minnesota to one of her workshops she was giving, just to check her out. And I thought, okay, this I felt like it was something I was supposed to do. So I signed up for the class. I went to the class, got the training, and it really helped open me up to being able to communicate. But really what started me being able to be in touch with any kind of divine energy was Reiki. Reiki opened me up. I used to know when bad things were going to happen, but that was about it. And I felt like something was trying to communicate with me, but I couldn't get in anything. So once I took Reiki classes in 2001, that's what opened me up to be able to start connecting to the divine. So Reiki is really responsible for where I am today, because it always guides me along with my angels, you know, what I'm supposed to do on my path. So and literally I've never seen these angel cards any place at any Target. So I just know it was sitting there waiting for me to take the class. So and then once I took the class, and I just kept asking for guidance, and my angels, you know, have brought me along and have guided me. I always check in. You know, I do Reiki and check in with my angels before I make a decision about anything, any class, any training I take. So they definitely have helped me, you know, progress spiritually. You know, as a healer and a teacher. So that's where I got my start, and I've just been working on improving my skills ever since with their guidance and along with Reiki.
Well, that's pretty wild, Beth, because they definitely did not have angel cards at my Target.
I know. So when I took the training in 2006, so that happened. It would have happened probably early 2006 or late 2005 when I found them. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty cool story though.
Yes.
I definitely don't ever get, you know, I keep these cards, they're pretty tattered, but I'll never give them away.
Yeah. So how do you connect with them? And Glacely was wanting to know if you hear them or just feel the choices. I mean, there's lots of different ways of knowing, and I would assume that different people have different high sense perceptions that they could use, but
Right. So yeah, because there's, you know, four main ways, you know, hearing, seeing, knowing, feeling. So my best way of getting information from the angels is hearing. So that's the first way I could connect with them. And it's like they're out sitting on my shoulder here, and I hear them inside my head, but I can tell it's coming from out here. And they'll give me information that way. Sometimes they show me pictures. Like for instance, when I'm working on a client and I'm doing Reiki, a lot of times they'll show me like a movie of, say it's a past life issue. They'll show me the story, like a little movie, and then I'll send the Reiki energy directly to that past life issue to clear the whatever the issue is from the point that originated back to the current timeline. And it's always worked really well, clearing blocks for people. I have some counselors that send me clients because they're stuck. And, I'll start working, and then, the angels just start giving me information, and I'll start asking them questions, and they're like, yes. And then we send Reiki back to the original problem. And then, it clears that, and then they're able to move on. It's amazing.
Wow. Wow. So hearing them,
Mhm.
and as far as other people connecting, is this something, do you teach any classes
Oh,
on this, or
right.
most
Yes.
you do readings?
I do readings. I've taught classes. So for people that want to connect, breathing is one of the most important things. So I know when I first started trying to connect, I would try too hard. So I would start to get something, and then it would go away because I was like trying so hard. So having your energy cleared. So obviously doing Reiki to yourself prior to trying to connect, to be centered and balanced. And then breathing, taking some deep breaths and trying to be relaxed. And then what I do, if I want to learn something, I ask questions, and then I listen to the answer, or for the answer. So they might, say something to me, or they might show me a picture, the angels, or a lot of times I'll just know things. So one of the best times to get to be able to connect is when you wake up in the morning, but you're not really awake, and you're not thinking about anything. That's when it's really easy for them to get in to give you messages, because you're not busy and you're not thinking. A lot of times we are thinking too much or distracted by things, and they have difficulty getting messages to us. So that is one of the best times that I am able to get connected.
Okay. And so other people connect to angels in different ways. So they might feel them or see them.
Mhm.
Uh,
Or, yeah, like they may just, like a lot of times an idea just pop into my head, and I'm like, you're kind of like, where'd that come from? I wasn't thinking about it. That's how that it came, you know, from somewhere else. And sometimes the angels will give you signs. I've had feathers just fall out of the sky with like no birds around right next to me. They know. I've had feathers just appear in a room and just float down. And I always tell people that, it's a sign because it makes you feel something, you know. I'll get goosebumps. That's a way that you can get divine guidance. So that's one of my tells. So like if I'm really connected and on, if I say something and I get goosebumps, then I know that's correct. Whatever I just communicated. Trying to think.
Well, you know what
Sometimes
happens what happens in my office when I'm working? I have a sun chime, and my office is an interior office with no natural light. But what I've come to notice is that whenever something important is going on, whether it's an emotion that my client is feeling or something that I've said to my client, then the bells will start ringing. And many times they've said, oh, I thought that was just part of the music. I said, no, that is the angels ringing the bell saying, pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And, sometimes you'll see a light, like Archangel Michael is kind of an electric blue. So a lot of times I'll see a light. Another way you can get angels can communicate through numbers. If anybody sees repetitive numbers, that is a way. Like when I was working my PT job, I did home health, so I was driving all the time. So I would be seeing license plates, or, you look at the clock and it's the same time all the time, then that's a repetitive message. And when I look at a license plate, I know it's a message for me because I feel something when I look at the number. And then I have a book in my car and, I can look up what the numbers mean. But the basic numbers, like 0 is the number for creator. 1 means watch your thoughts. You're manifesting quickly. So a lot of times people will see like 111 or 1111. So they're just reminding you that you need to be have positive thoughts. 2 means keep the faith. Don't give up hope. 3 is the sign that the ascended masters are with you. 4 is the big angel number. So if you see 444, they're letting you know that they're around. 5 is means change is coming. 6 means you need to balance the material with the spiritual. So don't worry too much about money. 7 is you're on the right path. 8's the abundance number. And then 9 means that you need to get working on your divine purpose. So if you know the basic meaning of the number, when you see 3 of them together, then you just combine them and it kind of tells you what they're trying to communicate with you. So I find numbers are definitely a good way that that they communicate.
Right. So if someone wants to connect more with their angels and they have Reiki, would they just send Reiki to a particular angel or to angels in general, or?
Right. I mean, you could pick a particular angel and try and connect with that angel. I work with Archangel Michael a lot, and I always say, there's lots of different types of angels, but if you're not sure what type of angel you need, you can ask Archangel Michael because he's kind of in charge of all the angels. Or you ask God and you ask God to send whatever angel, that could help you. So the most important thing is you have to ask, because they cannot interfere with your free will. So if you don't ask for help, they won't do it. So that's why I'm always like, if I want to know something, I'm always asking questions, and then I try and, stay quiet and keep my mind clear so that I can hear the message or feel the message as it comes back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, Reiki is definitely a big tool to help keep your energy balanced and calm so that you can hear and connect much more easily.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So if someone is like having trouble connecting to their angels, what suggestions would you give them?
There's a couple things. Crystals can help because they will amplify whatever you're trying to do. So like you could put Reiki in a quartz crystal, right? And then use that to help you connect. But the most important thing is, keeping your energy calm, relaxed, balanced, and you just keep practicing. So as I was on my spiritual path, I always had more difficulty being able to see things than the other types of communication. So I just kept asking my angels, show me this. And I just kept asking, and then eventually all of a sudden I was able to start doing it. And then it's like, once you get the connection, then it's much easier the next time. And then it gets easier the next time.
So Lucy was sharing that she's working with Archangel Raphael for healing because of her foot, from her foot surgery. Yeah. So you said you work with Archangel Michael. Do you tend to work with just one, or do you work with the whole heavenly host of angels?
Right. It kind of depends on the problem, but I probably work with Archangel Raphael and Michael the most in my what I do. But or Gabriel, like I asked Gabriel to help me tonight because that's, Gabriel works with communication. So or like sometimes I had a client today who had some dark energy that we were going to clear, and we were on Zoom and we were having technical problems because darker energies can manipulate electronics pretty easily. So I was praying, sending Reiki to my computer, asking Archangel Michael and Gabriel to protect the connection. And once I did that, it stopped. We were fine.
Wow. That's cool for the technology challenged. Yay.
Yes. And Archangel Michael is good with technology. So if you have technology, he's good for protection, clearing energy, your life purpose, and technology. So if you're having issues with technology, he's good at fixing things.
I might need that. And anybody else? How many of you need that? A little technology help. Hey, if any of you have any questions so far, feel free to speak up or put it in the chat. So, okay, so you have that one angel deck card, but I bet you have more than that. You want to show us what you got?
How many decks I have?
Of angel cards. I mean, surely it's a finite number. I mean, you don't have like 20, do you?
Oh, I have a thing. I don't know. It's a 4-tiered thing, and there's 12. I probably have like 30 decks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of angel cards?
Of angel cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So are you still able to buy the Doreen Virtue cards?
Well, you can get them on Etsy maybe, or eBay, but you have to be careful. Like China's selling them, and you'll get this, it'll be a little bitty deck, and the book won't be with it. So you just have to be careful. And then people want like $100 for them now. So yeah, you can't really get them. You have to shop around. And there's other angel card decks, and I do have a few other. I'm just so used to them. Like I know all the sayings because I've been using them for so long. But yes, I have plenty of them.
Yeah. Are there is there a second choice? I mean, I know that Doreen Virtue is no longer working with angels. She's chosen another path. So did one of her students create some angel cards?
Yes, and I think her sons are still doing spiritual work. I know Hay House is kind of groomed. I think it's Kyle Gray is the person's name, to kind of take her place. I just kind of look at the cards, and if they call to me, then then I would purchase them. If they don't, then I don't. I know one thing they taught us in the angel class, like when I do my readings, I do probably use 4 or 5 decks, because each deck has a little different message. So I ask the angels which ones to use for my readings, and whatever they'd like to communicate will be in that particular deck, or as close as they can get to it. And then, those are the ones I use. So I use cards to kind of guide my reading, but they give me other information.
Okay, let's see. So we've had a few questions pop up, and I know Susan had her hand up. So I think a couple people said that they like Kyle Gray and their cards, and I don't, and somebody wanted to know what happened with Doreen Virtue, and I don't know that that's necessarily a great topic for this call. I think the best thing to say would be she was called down a different path. And beyond that, if you want to know more, you can do your own research.
I always think, we're supposed to be our own best judge, what's best for us. And people treated her like, they elevated her on a pedestal, and she became kind of like a guru. But even the angels say you should always go by what your inner voice is saying. So even when I'm doing a reading, I will tell people, if your inner voice is saying something different, you should listen to that, not what I'm telling you. So, I think it was just another, she was just kind of, like Karen said, she went down a different path. So she was taken out of that role so that we can be our own judge.
That's a good way to put it. And then somebody wanted to know if fairy cards are okay. And,
Yeah. Sometimes when I do readings for kids, fairy cards are good because they have a little bit different messages, and it resonates with them more. Or some people are more fairy-like, so the sayings on there just go with, will resonate more with them.
Yeah, I think it's whatever people are drawn to. So are fairy cards right for everybody? Probably not. But if you are drawn to them, then use them.
Right.
And Susan, you had a question.
I just had a question about just Doreen Virtue. And since she had this change of heart, and she actually, as I remember correctly, was saying that she kind of didn't believe anymore in some of the guides and divine beings that she had worked with in the past. Does that diminish at all the original messages that came through her, do you think?
I don't think so. And this was my thought on her from the beginning. When I went to the angel training, she had this entourage of people around her that kept everybody away. And I was like, okay, it was just crazy how people treated her, like she was this, I don't know, super important person. But I just thought she just connected and channeled first. She doesn't do or didn't do anything that each one of us can't do. She just did it first, or talked about it more, So, we can all connect. It just takes practice. I mean, when I started on my spiritual journey, like I said, I knew when bad things were going to happen, and I didn't know anything. I tried and tried, and I couldn't get connected. I took Reiki, that opened me up, and I was, it really helped me progress. And you just keep trying crystals. I used crystals to help me connect. And then it's like, once you get that connection going, it becomes easier. And then I didn't need the crystals anymore.
That's
so cool. The deep breathing, crystals, just trying to stay relaxed and just keep practicing.
Well, I wonder if you can share any stories with us of working with the angels, how the angels have helped you, what sort of things angels can help us with.
Well, trying to figure out what story to tell. Okay, so I cleared, I shouldn't say, because I don't do any of the work. I hold the energy for the angels to do work for me. So I clear dark energy. So I was, and what I do before I do it is I pray, and the angels literally will tell me, like, I call it like a game plan. The light knows everything that's going to happen. The dark doesn't know everything. So the angels will tell me, okay, this is going to happen, and you need to come up with a plan for this. So we come up with a plan for that. Twice, the second story is probably better. So I had a client come in for a reading, and he had a demon attached to him. So we're sitting here, and I protect my house very well, and I don't let things come in. So he comes in, and this demon's talking to me through him. Okay. Telling me all this stuff, and, it's almost like smack talk, and I'm like, whatever. So I told the client, I'm like, don't worry, I'll work on this with the angels and we'll be able to help you. So when I go to pray about my plan, they tell me, okay, we're going to send you out in this little angel outfit. So they gave me this little bell-shaped dress, okay, that was real sparkly, like gold and silver. They gave me a little halo. So, I'm doing this, I'm visualizing, so this is what they show me. So the angels send me out, in this little outfit to meet the demon. Okay. So the demon looks like it's big. It's the kind you see pictures of it. It's like red and black and green, and it has the big horns. Okay. So I go out to meet it, and he's laughing at me. He's like, did they tell you that was going to protect you? And I'm like, yeah. They said this would protect me. So he's laughing at me. And so he's coming to get me. Okay. And as he's coming to get me, he was so concentrated on me. It was like all the aspects of the Divine Mother came behind him and got him and took him away. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But, I had faith that they were going to protect me. Whatever, in all my clearings, if whatever they tell me to do, I do it. And I have faith that they're going to protect me and I'm going to be fine. So, and I literally do whatever they tell me to do. So, I went out there and did it. They got him and took him off wherever they take it. And I was fine. It was a little scary, but I knew I was going to be okay.
And how is the client after that?
And he had a little, he had a little integration. So I sent him healing, and it took a few days, and oh my gosh, he's doing so much better. He's taken Reiki classes from me. He's really working on himself, and he's doing great.
Okay, good. Jackie wants to know, did you have to clear your home after that incident?
Oh, yes, I did. But I always think the angels or Archangel Michael let him come in because it was all part of the plan. If it happens like that, I'm like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, Archangel Michael wouldn't let that happen.
Uh-huh.
So I always, I think, that's just part of, what he planned, for it to happen. And, I cleared my house and everything was fine.
Okay. Glacely wants to know if you can clear dark energy from a distance for a family member that may have a dark energy attached without them knowing.
I always pray. I have to get permission from somewhere, either, usually I'll ask Archangel Michael, do we have permission to do this? If I get yes, then I would do it. If I get no, I would say, then I don't do it. Because we can't interfere in somebody's free will. A lot of times their higher self would be okay with it. But what you could do is pray and ask Archangel Michael if he could, if he would clear it. A trick I've learned is you can ask Archangel Michael to quarantine the energy. So, he can take it and kind of tie it up. It doesn't actually clear it from them, but it can keep the energy, balled up so it can't do whatever damage or interference that was happening.
Okay. And for those of you that have a Holy Fire Reiki Master, you can also do the healing spirit attachments.
And that works very well. Yes.
Yeah. And Gleichley, we'll come back to you, but M had her hand raised. Do you want to say what your question is, M?
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you for mentioning the spirit attachment release, because
Mhm.
I have used that a whole lot. I started practicing professionally last summer, and I was amazed what was walking through the door. And, you know, I don't think I didn't do that on anyone who didn't come through. But and I have found the doing it at distance is really effective.
Mhm.
But Beth, thank you for sharing the work that you're doing. I had an experience last summer that I just have all kinds of question marks around, and I've had experiences that I'm just sitting and waiting for the answer. And then tonight you show up, thanks to Karen. And so I'm going to ask, and I don't know what is showing up for you now, but last summer when I was doing a lot of this work, I ended up staying at the office overnight due to a power outage and flooding. And I never thought about clearing the office space until the end of the summer. And that night, when you walk into the office, it looks like a cathedral. The way it was intentionally designed to look like a cathedral with the lighting and a kind of a bell tower, a cupola. But that night I had to stay there. I was staying in one of the back rooms, and I was told to get up and go lay under the cupola. And I began to hear something flying. And I was in this remarkable dream state. And the office is laid out in the sign of a cross. It wasn't until that night that I realized that it was laid out like a cathedral, which is often in the shape of a crucifix architecturally. And I'm laying there, and there is this black winged creature flying around. And, you know, I have a military background, and I heard, it reminded me of a Huey taking off, and it just went faster and faster. And I'm also an animal Reiki master. And all these animals were just crawling all over me, telling me to keep my eyes shut and that everything was going to be okay. And they were just, you know, licking me and kissing me and loving on me. And I'm laid out in, you know, behind the reception desk. I don't have any clarity around what occurred, but I also had absolute faith that you spoke before. And I was raised Roman Catholic too, Roman Catholic, Irish, pre-Vatican II. We were Catholic Family of the Year twice. I was supposed to go in the convent and took a hard left turn and went overseas for 20 years to the Middle East with the Gulf War and everything. But what was that? Are you getting anything?
I mean, obviously I would say it was something dark.
I was told I was protected, so I
Yeah.
haven't, but this creature shows up a couple times, and I do the spirit attachment release on myself, but you know.
So, I mean, you could ask Archangel Michael to quarantine that energy when you're there so that it doesn't bother you. And then I'd be putting holy fire and chokuray all on the wall, you know, all over the place. Cause that would, you know, that would help clear the energy, right?
I do that, and I have selenite and clear quartz all over the place, you know, like at all the different corners, sorry. So But I
Yeah,
haven't found anybody.
if people are coming in and out of there, you need to clear you have to clear the energy of the place every day.
Okay.
You could also do
I
the
don't
healing
know,
spirit
Karen,
attachment.
how long do you think the symbols stay on the wall and the ceiling and everything when you put them there?
I was doing it daily, and because I got to know the clients, I'm not at that location anymore,
Mhm.
but because I got to know the clients and I could read, like I would get downloads. That was the only way to describe it. I would see things, I would hear things, I would smell things. I could taste sulfur, and
You know,
I
it
would
seems like,
do it every day.
yeah, it seems like the design of the building might have, because of how they designed it, it might have been a power place or something. And, so those types of places will attract dark things because they try and, stop the light. So, but I'm curious about that. I mean, Karen, when you put a symbol on a wall or something, would you say it stays permanently, or you have to keep doing it every day?
Well, what I tell people when I teach space clearing and blessing in my Reiki 1 and 2 classes is it depends on how many people are coming in and out of the home and what you're doing in the home. If you're the only one there and things are calm, then you could probably Reiki the energy every 2 weeks, and that would be good. But for my office where I'm seeing Reiki and counseling clients, I Reiki it every day when I go in. And then if I have a difficult session, I will Reiki it between people. If you're home and you have an argument with a loved one, then you're going to need Reiki there. If you watch a scary movie and put energy of that in there, or if you're watching the news and then you're going to need more Reiki energy there. So, hey, Glacely had an additional question, which I don't quite understand, Glacely. What if I asked for her to send me the owl and then I saw the owl a couple days later? Who is?
Okay, so this is about my daughter. And it's been a year since she's been gone. But I put a Facebook post out on her birthday, a picture of her and me. And I wrote a little poem. And in the poem, I said, if you want help, send me the owl. And 2 days later, we drove over to a very, farm area because we were looking for some specific trees. And we would not have really gone to that area. I probably would never have seen this in the city, but because we were out, it's just unusual that we went there for this, but we didn't bring back a tree. And an owl, we came to a stop sign to turn left, and the owl flew in front of the car, landed on a very short post. And as we turned, the owl turned and looked directly at me and my boyfriend in the car as we drove. And so I feel like it's her wanting help, but I don't know if that's considered permission.
And she's in body, right? She didn't transition, or she did.
She's still alive. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I was asking, because I thought that would be important to differentiate whether she was alive or if she had passed on.
She tried to commit suicide, and I feel like maybe she did because she knows her boyfriend passed, and she started acting just like him, doing all the terrible things. And I feel like now that that's happened, I feel like maybe he had the bad spirit and it transitioned to her when he passed. And now it's behaving just like him, and he's got her. And I don't know how to help her and to get her back. But I learned Reiki, And I just need to know more about the do's and don'ts. So,
Right, you have to have permission, but I mean, obviously that was a sign. I don't know, Karen, what do you think?
I think that you can always ask in a prayer whether or not you have permission to send Reiki or to do a healing spirit attachments. And, then listen to your answer. If you're not sure of your answer, go ahead and do it, because Reiki is not going to cause any harm. There's nothing that can be done without a person or a soul's permission at some level. So, if I can't remember what level of Reiki you have, if you have Reiki Master, you could do
Master.
healing. Yeah, then you could do the healing spirit attachments exercise for her. And, I'd try that several times. You can also send Reiki to her every day. And it sounds like you could have a session with Beth, that might provide some additional help.
Mhm.
sounds good.
And I do find, and Karen probably could say the same thing, that a lot of people have spirit attachments because they have wounds, in their energy field that allow the darkness in. And that's what's good about the healing spirit attachment protocol, because you release the spirit, they get healing, and then you also heal the part of the person that allowed them, to get the attachment, which is super important, because otherwise it would just that they could use the same wound to get into your energy field.
Okay, Susan wants to know, what about our children? Are they easier for spirits to attach to?
I have to say, I've had multiple teenagers in my healing space that have attachments. So I honestly, and if they have had wounds in this life, that makes them more susceptible to getting an attachment, as well as past life. And, they don't know anything about their past life, history, most people. So yes, I would say yes, they can get spirit attachments just like anyone else.
Well, I'm wondering about, all of you. I mean, how many of you have worked with angels, and, do you do angel readings? Do you work with cards for yourself or your clients, or have you had any cool experiences with angels?
Hi, this is Em. I took my first Reiki course with William Rand, and he gave us a prayer that I extrapolated on for myself. His prayer was like, bless, protect, guide, and heal us. Bless, protect, no, bless, guide, and heal me so that I may better serve myself and contribute to others. And my very first experience, I learned about Merkabahs, but the way I learned was with an angel and expanding it out into a space so that it did the four corners. So I took that prayer and went north, south, east, west, earth, wind, fire, water, St. Michael, St. Gabriel, St. Uriel, St. Raphael, Holy Spirit, Holy Fire, bless, protect, guide, and heal me so that I may better serve myself and contribute to others. And last summer, one of the individuals that worked in my office did, I don't know what to call her. I forget what she called her. She talks about life paths. but she dealt with a lot of angels and numerology. And she kept talking about seeing Archangel Metatron around me. And Archangel Metatron is about miracles and children. And so I'm at the Delaware beaches, and I go out in the ocean, and I swim with the dolphins and whatever water dwellers are out there. And I do a lot of Reiki while I'm out in the ocean. And today, you know, I really didn't know. I just knew I was coming to this class tonight. I didn't. And so I'm out there laying, doing the Reiki, and I'm looking up, and I just saw all these angel clouds. Like for me, when the angels are around, the clouds have a certain occurrence, very feathery. And it was really remarkable, and it was very breathtaking. And then there was one cloud formation that occurred. I mean, the word Beelzebub just popped in my head as I was looking at it, but all the angel clouds were coming around the Beelzebub cloud. And I was like, it's all good. It's going to be fine. But Archangel Metatron shows up a lot for me.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, he's also good at with time. So like if I'm traveling and I want to have the time go by quickly, I ask him to speed up time. If I want to slow time down because I want to enjoy something, or like if I'm in a continuing ed class and I want it to go by quickly, I ask him to speed up time. But you can also ask him to slow down time.
I didn't know that about him.
Mhm.
You know, this
Yeah.
is a new, other than Reiki, there's a lot I don't know other than what I learned in Catholicism.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm aware that they are always there. And I'm really, Karen, thank you very much for this. And Beth, it is just exquisite to meet you and be with you.
Oh, thanks. I know, you know, for angel cards, one thing about cards, you want to make sure your deck is clear. So I ask Archangel Michael to put a permanent vacuum over them so that any energy that gets on them automatically gets vacuumed off. And then, you know, just to get a message, you can just shuffle and say, what's my message today? And then like I'll get a number in my head, or they just two cards just came out. So, you know, or you can just pick. So whatever messages you're meant to get, you'll get them. Okay. It's that easy. So, I like to pick cards maybe 2 or 3 times a week just for like my daily message. And I think there were some questions in the chat, right?
Yes. Lucy said she worked with Archangel Raphael when she had a cold, fearing she was getting COVID, and her COVID test came back negative.
Oh, nice.
Nicole wants to know if there's an angel specifically for childbirth, and also how to learn more about angels.
So I know there's some books out there, which of course I'm more familiar with the Doreen Virtue ones that you can't get, but there's a lot of books out there to explain about angels. The angel for childbirth, Archangel Haniel, Haniel, is the angel that kind of works with women and their cycles. And then because I'm Catholic, like Divine Mother energy, even though that's not an angel, would also be good to call in for childbirth or any kind of anything to have to do with you know, your cycle or you know, children. So, but Archangel Haniel would be the one.
Okay, and then what about what other angel classes are available? Do you have any classes coming up?
I don't have anything scheduled at the moment, but
What's
You
your
know, but
website where people
I
can
could.
find out?
Correct. What is my website? Did you
Yes.
say? So it's intuitivehealingbybeth.com.
Okay, well, tell you what, how about you schedule a class and let me know by Wednesday? No pressure. And, and then when my
By
assistant
Wednesday.
comes Wednesday and does the follow-up email, we can announce your class in the email.
Okay.
How's that?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, good. And Lucy says The Angels of Atlantis by Stuart Pearce is a book she recommends.
Good.
Shoot, I think if you want it quick and easy, just go find an angel card deck and start pulling cards. I mean, that
Mhm.
seems
It's
super
so easy. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
you
so
don't
easy.
even, for
Yeah.
people who
Just,
don't want to have to read. What about people also like videos? Do you have any videos on angels or a YouTube channel, or is that coming, Beth?
only if you make me.
Okay, by Wednesday.
But no
No.
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. Well, are there any YouTube channels that you like about angels?
Mm,
I
Not
guess
off the top
I guess
of
people
my
could
head.
look. Maybe you can even find it on TikTok. Who knows?
Right. I'm sure there's some on YouTube,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I guess just because I already connect with them, I don't even think about watching them. So I don't know of any off the top of my head.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
somebody asked
please.
to repeat your website.
Okay, it's intuitivehealingbybeth.com. I think you put it in the
I did.
email. Yeah.
I
it's
did. I
in
put
the
it in
email,
the I put it in the email if you get my emails. And also I'll be sending up a follow-up email for anybody that is on my Reiki call email list. If you're not getting my follow-up emails, just go to my website, KarenHarrison.net, and you can sign up. But it'll also be on my website under Reiki call. Okay, Lucy says the Angel Oracle by Ambika Waters.
Waters.
Waters is a great deck with a book. Okay.
And the book, like I don't use the book, but it is helpful for beginners because it gives you more information about each card. And it actually kind of tells you how to do like a card spread about a question.
Uh-huh. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing after this class tonight. I'm going to go pull some angel cards.
Mhm.
So, okay. Well, on that note, we're reaching our time, so we need to end. So I so much appreciate you all attending. And if there's other topics you would like to hear about, just let me know, because I've got all sorts of resources and all my Reiki students. And if any of you all have a topic that you would like to talk about or share, let me know at KarenHarrison.net. And we send you all a lot of love and Reiki and blessings of the angels. And we give you all big hugs. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And thank you so much, Beth, for your
Thank you.
love and inspiration and wisdom, and also making it easy. I mean, pulling a card is just the easiest thing, all you got to do is
Yes.
find an angel deck in front of you at Target. If maybe Target needs to carry angel decks.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, I mean, that is the easiest way to get a message.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you all so much. And we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good night.
Good night.